Ladies and gentlemen, I have returned with a new video. In this video, I will attempt to explain what is happening with NIO. I will also explain some important information related to Tesla, SPY, and TQQ because some significant data releases are scheduled for tomorrow that will impact yields and the entire market. I will also try to understand what has happened with earnings and how NIO's situation looks from a technical perspective. Now, let's see what's happening in the market. NIO is down by 6.06% today, just like the entire market, but there was no specific bad news for NIO. The market as a whole slowed down due to new economic data, and there is also some fear in the market current sentiment because some very important data are set to be released tomorrow. So I'll explain what this data is and how it can affect NIO. And I'll also discuss what you should keep an eye on over time. But first, let's talk about all this information. It's time to answer what is happening right now. Currently, we have Meta earnings. Meta has given its highest sales and profits in its history, at least to some extent. They are not counting the expensive increase, but it was still strong because when you look at Meta, they beat on both the top and bottom lines. Revenue increased by 23%. And they beat on both EPS and revenue. The EPS beat was significant. They earned $4.39 per share when the expectation was $3.63. They were heavy on the revenue side. Their daily active users were better than expected, and everything else was pretty decent based on their recent data. But when it comes to guidance, it was a bit mixed. Some things were above expectations, but there was a significant difference. Some things were below expectations in terms of guidance, so guidance was somewhat mixed. But overall, their earnings are still strong and reasonable, so not bad for Meta. This is why the share price is still stable. It may be helpful for tomorrow market. When it comes to earnings, there's another earnings release scheduled for tomorrow. After the market closes, Amazon earnings will be released, and tomorrow morning there's some significant data that will impact the market. We're awaiting the GDP numbers, which will have an impact on the market performance. Additionally, there's something else quite interesting. Initial jobless claims are also set to be released tomorrow. All of this data will influence the market, so be prepared. We also have some Fed speakers with people like Waller expected to speak soon. Let's see what they have to say. Then we have the PCE data scheduled for Friday, which is another big data day. So all of this important data is coming in the next couple of days, and the market will react to all of it. I believe tomorrow is going to be a crucial day, especially due to the GDP numbers. These numbers might also affect how yields move. If they are close to the consensus forecast, the GDP growth rate could be between 4% and 4.3%. This could give yields a bit of an upward push, potentially crossing the 5% mark, which could weaken the market. So be cautious. We're keeping a close eye on this. Watch out for the GDP numbers. Now, regarding NIO, we have some good news. NIO is interested in buying its own factory, and they have already delivered their first ES6 driver to European drivers. The EV maker is expanding its presence in Europe, which is good news for NIO. NIO is making great strides. In China, it's known as ES6, but it has made its way to Europe. The name was changed to Audi based on their suggestion, as they thought the name was too similar. But that's outright. NIO made a deal with them and is working on improving its company. You can see the specs there. It's slightly larger than the Tesla Model Y. We see that second-generation technology is making significant strides, and this will give NIO more exposure in European markets. People are excited about this and are looking forward to what's next. So it's good news for them. Buyers are coming in. The car looks fantastic. I'm very excited about this. And moving forward, in June 2023, the third NIO house opened, which was quite significant for them in showing what the future might look like. We see more people joining in. Now there's an art show going on. It's helping attract different architects and people, giving NIO more advertising power. People will now know more about it. Deutsche Bank has a buy rating on NIO. The price ratio is quite stable. the market seems a bit less enthusiastic about this news. I can say that Thursdays tend to be green, but only about 50% of the time. Also, be prepared for more uncertainty in the second and last hours of the day. Finally, in terms of volume, it's slightly lower at 28 million, so that's an important note. So, let's understand all this information about what's happening with NIO. NIO was down 6.06% for the day and appeared to be continuing its decline. However, upon looking at the current structure, it seems like it might form a head and shoulders pattern, which suggests that NIO could see further declines. Perhaps we can see it around 7.3 to 7.4, where some stability may come into play. This range has acted as a sort of ping-pong zone several times. So, look for a bounce, a slight drop, and then another bounce tomorrow morning. You should try to ride along with the market bounce. Temporarily, we can only expect sideways trading. I think our day might be quite flat. It will also be significantly influenced by GDP numbers. However, from a technical perspective, there's a chance of upside in the market as the 30-minute time frame for SPY is showing a good bullish divergence. But it will depend on whether we can hold at 417. Then the market might move towards 420. After that, we might see a rejection from SPY and more sideways trading. If we break 420, keep an eye on 422. We might try to fill that gap, but I believe the most likely move will be a rebound towards 420, followed by some sideways trading for a while. For Tesla, it's approaching some important support levels. Around 210, we can see some buyers trying to push it towards 215. It looks a bit weak, but there's a possibility of it bouncing along with SPY and Apple. Apple has a bullish divergence, so we might see Apple go up to 172 and then take a bit of a rest. This could help the market to some extent. Meta earnings could also be a factor. If we can hold QQQ above 350 and move upwards, we might see a rebound towards 352.50 and then perhaps 354. However, this all depends on the data, but this seems to be the most likely move. Nvidia might also dip a bit further. We have support in the 407 to 409 range. It could bounce from that support level, and buyers might try to push it towards 420. Regarding NIO, it can try to rebound with the market, but it looks weaker. I wouldn't be surprised if NIO goes a bit lower. Maybe we can go down to 7.5. If we go to 7.3 or around there, buyers may step in and try to push it up again. Overall, it might be a fairly flat day, especially considering we're closely monitoring the GDP numbers, which are expected to have a significant impact on the market direction. Thank you for joining us today. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more stock predictions and market insights. Remember to turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update. Happy investing and see you in the next video.